Easy people, and here it is, the long-awaited look at the Triumph Stag Dolomite Sprint TR7 stroke Dolomite 1850 oil pump. So I have a copy of one here, or an example of one here, and we'll take it to bits and have a look inside. Go through some of the bits and pieces and the details with it, and then what we will do is compare it to the one that come out of my Stag engine. Right, as you can see, this is a split pin, or according to the Americans it's a cod pin, although it doesn't really look very much like it's made out of cod, but you know, our differences make us unique. Right then, so having removed the split pin, we then have the end cap of the pressure relief valve, and as you can see it's got an O-ring around it, which is fairly straightforward and easy to change. Now if we have a look in here, quite often where this thing's bolted on the outside of the engine, you swing your engine around and you drop it on the floor and it lands on this corner, which is rather vulnerable, and it ends up distorting the casting, which means that it's quite often very, very difficult to get this out. So the next thing to take out will be the piston and the spring, which should be in that way round. Anyway, oh, I've got that wrong completely, haven't I? Look at that. That spring should be on there, like that, and that piston should insert first, like that. Anyway, you get the gist. So there's your piston, there's your pressure relief valve spring, and yes, it's deliberately designed to be all screwed up and bent. I have no idea why, I'm sure they've got their reasons. Anyway. Right, so we have a look at the rest of the casting. There is damage here. So let's have a look inside. Okay, so there is our impeller shaft. Obviously you've got the entry chamber and the exit chamber. So then we use two posi drive screws. They will undoubtedly require a tap or maybe an impact driver. It is quite likely that these are going to be difficult to get out, shall we say. Excuse my hand-fistedness. Oh yeah, nice and blurry. Well done, phone. I'm guessing that it's gone straight to the Chinese Republic, what I'm doing here. Ah, look. Right then, so we take the bottom off the chamber. Yeah, quite a substantial amount of scoring and stuff. So we put that down there, and then we have the O-ring thingy. Yep, definitely worth considering replacing that. Right then, so the way this comes apart is that you would push the shaft and out comes the main impeller. Yep, there's a bit of wear in there. Looks like some foreign bodies have gotten in there and done some evil work. So put the impeller down there. Then there's the rotor. Or the stator, I'm not really sure which actually. What is the nomenclature for these things? Apart from and which seems to fit the bill quite nicely. So there you are, there's your cavities. So that's your pump. Right, so we would measure tolerances. With the feeler gauge between this gap here. Insert that and give it a wiggle. Yeah, that's a bit worn out. And then what we would do is we would rotate that to the point where that gap there, and then you stick your feeler gauge in there. Then you would put a straight edge across the top here, and you put your feeler gauge in there, and hopefully it all comes within the tolerances looking in your book. To be honest with you, I have no idea. These are 50 quid a piece. Really and honestly, it's not worth bothering with them. Right, okay, that's all very well and good. Let's get all of that junk out of the way. As Matt would say, yeet that across the workshop. Let's have a look at the one that came out of my Triumph Stag. Now, so here's one I prepared earlier. As you can see, the head gasket had gone, water had gotten into the oil, somehow it had gotten into the pump, probably because it's an oil pump, which was contaminated with water. We've managed to get the end cap off. There's no significant damage to this corner of the casting, which is good. We will look inside there, and the pressure relief valve is well and truly stuck with rust against the alloy casting. So that is not coming out in a great deal of hurry. Now, the impeller did come out of it, and it sort of looked a bit like this one, just a slightly darker colour. So the impeller was not bad. The pump body, however, that proved to be a bit more of a problem. As you can see, the rotary statory thing was kind of very rusted, and so we ended up making a special tool in here and put it in a 15-ton press to press this out. It took 5 tons to get the impeller out, but this bit, well, it papped its own pants, didn't it? It couldn't handle it under any circumstances, so yeah, there was really little point in pursuing any idea that this might clean up and be possibly usable in the future. So looking at there, yeah, we tried heating it up and cooling it down in order to break the seal between the electrolytic corrosion between the alloy casting and what looks like a cast iron impeller housing. Think they're cast iron? I don't think they're steel. Anyway, it's brittle, I know that much. But it didn't take much to make it fall completely to bits. Yeah. I think the technical description for that one's probably goosed. So we'll have a look at this. Again, the inside of that is horrible and rusty. The seal's not too bad. The outside cleaned up okay. But effectively, that is all scrap. There is the very bendy, well-tonky spring. And that actually has got a bend in it. So that is about as much use as a chocolate teapot. Yeah, well, a split pin came out okay. And no, it's not made of cod. So there you go. My Triumph Stag oil pump. In comparison to a working, useful Stag oil pump. Well, I don't know what you think. So yeah, leave your comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. I do hope you found it useful. And then I will probably catch up with you with the next ridiculously shagged piece of junk from my Triumph Stag. Oh, long may it rain. Broken cogs probably. Right you are then. Laters.